Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head to Galashiels once again, and we're going to return to Tempest Brewing Company. It's been a while since I've reviewed one of their beers, but this time we've got something a bit different from these guys. This one is the Passionfruit Berliner, which as you may have guessed is a Berliner Weiss with passion fruits added to the brew, and it comes in at 4%. This one should be quite nice. It looks very nice, and Tempest Brewery are one of the best craft breweries in Scotland at the moment. These guys are producing some really damn awesome stuff, so I'm really looking forward to trying this one. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other Tempest reviews I've done before. I think this is my 4th review from them now. They produce some pretty awesome beers, so I'm sure I'll review more in the very near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in beer from a particular country, state or city, the whole channel uses geography tags, so you can search for beer that way. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of your favourite beers and breweries that you'd like to see me review on the channel. Your input and suggestions are always hugely appreciated, as is your support. So thank you for all your support over the last 800 or so videos now. But anyway, a little bit about Tempest Brew Company. So Tempest, as I mentioned to you, are based in Kelso and now in Galashiels as well, down in the Scottish borders, and they were founded in 2010 by Gavin and Anika Meiklejohn. So Anika actually trained as a chef in New Zealand, but the couple returned to Scotland in 2007 to run the Cobbles Bar down in Kelso. But Gavin had previously worked for Whistler Brewing Company in British Columbia and Canada, so he had an appreciation for craft beer, and he'd actually taken brewing courses when they were in Sydney in Australia as well. He homebrewed in his garage in Wellington in New Zealand with a 50-litre kit brewery actually, and that's a very common thing down there now. The Wellington beer scene is absolutely incredible, I can tell you that from personal experience. But Gavin is actually joined by Alan Rice, who acts as the business development manager, and he previously worked for Stewart Brewery in Edinburgh, another very good Scottish craft brewery who you saw me review just a few videos ago. But this brewery was previously housed in old dairy buildings in Kelso, and this brewery was largely homemade and engineered to produce big beers on a kind of shoestring budget, if you like. However, their beers proved to be very, very popular, so they moved to their new and bigger facility at the Tweedbank Industrial Estate in Galashiels, and they now have a 32 hectolitre capacity. But these guys are very, very interesting. Like I said, very highly regarded in Scottish craft beer circles. They're using hops from the UK, Germany, New Zealand and North America. They've got a wide variety of yeast strains as well, and they also use a whole host of malts. One of the most interesting ones they use actually is the Golden Promise, which is produced locally in Kelso and then dried in Berwick at Simpson's Malt House. But these guys have recently undergone a rebranding as well. I think the last time I reviewed one of their beers, they'd only just done the rebranding exercise with all the new labels and things. The first beer I ever tried from Tempest, I think, was called Marmalade on Toast, and that was a collaboration that they did with Brewdog Edinburgh, which was really, really nice. That was a very, very good beer, and I enjoyed that one marvellously. I think they've renamed it Marmalade on Rye now, that you can get it in one of the full kind of Tempest beers. They used to do half-litre bottles, but now they do the little 330s. But just to list the other beers you can get from these guys before we get on to the tasting, in their regular range they've got the Bomber IPA, which is supposed to be very good. I need to try that. There's Brave New World, which is one of the best IPAs you're going to find in Scotland. Easy Living Pills, the Elemental, which is a porter, In the Dark We Live, which is a black IPA, Long White Cloud, which is an extra pale ale, Red Eye Flight, which is a mocha porter. That's supposed to be a damn good beer. There's the Pale Armadillo, which is a pale ale, and Unforgiven Red Rye, which is supposed to be a sort of smoky red beer. They also have a Pils as well, if I remember correctly. Another Pils, which is supposed to be very, very nice. So definitely worth checking out this brewery. Like I say, very highly regarded in Scottish craft beer circles at the moment. But that's enough about Tempest Brewing Company just now. As I say, you can check out the website and have a little further read on them if you are particularly interested. But let's get this one out and into the glass. So as I said to you, this one is a 4% Berliner Weiss with passion fruit added to the brew, and it should be really nice. I'll just bring up the camera and let you have a little look at the artwork on this one before we open it up. As I said to you, they've got a Berliner series, and the last one they did was the Mango Berliner, which went down very, very well. So they've added this one, the Passionfruit Berliner, to that range now. So the artwork on this one is really interesting. A kind of really strange looking oil painting, actually, kind of Scream style artwork. This one is 1.3 UK units. and it should be pretty nice. You can see there is the Tempest symbol on the bottle cap there, and you can see it just on the top of the bottle there as well. But overall, looks really nice, and we'll get this guy out and see how we get on. The artwork on this one was by Danielle McFarlane, so yeah, should be pretty good. Looking forward to trying this beer. Nice smoky opening there as we open up the bottle, and we'll get it out. You can really smell the passion fruits on this as you open it up. That's the first thing you'll notice about this beer, is just how juicy it smells. But yeah, that passion fruit aroma is really nice actually. I always enjoy a bit of passion fruit. The Simcoe hop is always a really nice smelling one, and that gives you a nice passion fruit, but this is obviously the juice from the fruit itself. So as you can see, this beer is poured a really nice kind of hazy yellow colour. It had a half finger of a frothy white head, but that's going to fade away, just be a very thin foamy layer. That's a common thing actually with Berliner Weiss beers, but you can see this one is a really bright kind of yellowy colour, and that passion fruit aroma really is just kind of following this beer around. It really is very, very nice. You can see if I put my fingers behind it, it is transparent, although it is kind of opaque as well. It's some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, but quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of the head there. It smells very, very nice. So yeah, let's have a closer look at that aroma. So yeah, the passion fruit's definitely in there. I want to say there's a little bit of almost peachy or mango notes coming out of this one as well, but you definitely have that kind of almost Brettanomyces character coming out of this beer. You can smell the lemony sherbet. There's some floral and grassy character in the beer as well, but it smells really nice actually. Yeah, that's an interesting beer. There's a little bit of a kind of wheaty, almost clovey character underneath it. You can smell some of that Weiss character just coming out, but it's really, when you let it settle, it's more the sort of passion fruit notes that are coming out of this beer. Just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this one before you actually get stuck into it. It's really interesting. But yeah, a little bit of lemon sherbet, some floral aromaticity to this one. Nice little bit of lighter grassy character too, and that kind of yeasty, bready, and maybe slightly banana doughy kind of malt base from this one. Maybe a bit of kind of clovey spice or peppery spice coming out of this beer too. But just take a little bit of time and enjoy that before you get stuck in. So we'll try this beer now. So this one is the Passionfruit Berliner from Tempest Brewing Company in Galashiels down in the borders in Scotland. Slàinte. That's pretty nice actually. It's not quite as sour as I was expecting. I tell you something, that beer is very, very easy to drink. That's the first thing you're going to notice about this one. The passion fruit in this one really comes out more in the aftertaste. When this beer comes in, it comes in very, very sharp and very lemon sherbety, as you would expect from a sort of sour beer, if you'd like. But really the passion fruit starts to come out later in the taste, and it works very well. Yeah, that's a really good beer, that, no two doubts about it. Yeah, that's really nicely done. So in the middle of the palate, you've got this nice kind of bready character, the doughiness that just goes right across the middle of the tongue. It's actually very, very light feeling just because of how wet the mouthfeel of this beer is. But you can get that kind of doughy, yeasty, slightly banana-y flavour from the Weiss characteristics of this beer just going right across the middle of the tongue there. It works really nicely. There's a little bit of a kind of grainy, slightly spicy character just in the middle of the palate, but that's very minimal. Really, this beer is very, very, it's very wet in its mouthfeel. That's the first thing you're going to notice about this, and that's because they've added fruit to the beer, and you always get that with beers that they add fruit to the brew. The whole edge of your palate becomes very, very wet and kind of saturated from the fruity characters of the beer, but it works really nicely in this one. So yeah, around the edge of the palate you've got a nice kind of sharp lemony sherbet character coming out of this beer. When you go later through it, you get the passion fruit, you get that juicy passion fruit character. Maybe there could be a little bit of peach or something, or mango-y flavour to it, but I think that's just your palate kind of trying to adjust and me trying to figure out what the flavour is, really it's most likely it's definitely that passion fruit kind of thing that's going on in there. Passion fruit, of course, is a really distinct fruit flavour, and you can feel that from the front of your palate going all the way back. But if you go just behind the front curve of your tongue a little bit, there is a little bit of variance in that fruit character, and that's where I'm getting a little bit of the slightly kind of peachy or mango flavours in there. That's where I always find you get the kind of hoppy side of the beer. Yeah, it's got a really nice kind of sharper lemony sherbet citric character to it, this one. There's a bit of floral aromaticity and some grassiness to the beer as well, but really once the juiciness of the beer starts to fade, you get a little bit more of that sharpness on the front of the tongue, but you also get some of these kind of slightly more grassy and floral characters coming out of the beer. But the main point about this one is it's really, really drinkable actually. It'd be lovely to try this one on tap or on the cask beers and just see how it comes out with a bit of a thicker mouthfeel, but it's very, very drinkable and it's really quite enjoyable actually. If this one actually wasn't that highly rated on Rate Beer when I checked it out. It had 40 overall or something like that, and then 65 within the style, but personally I think it's good and it's a really nice kind of drinkable beer. You know, if you enjoy it and it's drinkable, then for me that's the main thing. It's got a nice taste. If you like passion fruits, you certainly are going to enjoy this beer, and it has enough of the kind of sour character. If you enjoy sour beers, you're going to enjoy this one, but it doesn't have too much of the kind of Berliner Weiss sort of thing for me. This one comes across as more of a sour beer in my opinion. Although in fairness, when you have a Berliner Weiss, it always does have some of that sharp citrusy character to it. But I remember in the Berliner Weisses that I tried, you always get more of that kind of wheaty character coming out of it. It really does have a kind of big wheaty malt base to it. This beer doesn't have that in the same way that the original Berliner Weisses do. But that said, the main point of my reviews is to say whether a beer's good or not, and this one is. You know, Tempest will never put out a bad beer. I think it's fair to say that, and this one is a really nice kind of light zestable beer. This is a good summer beer. I'll say that. If you've got a really nice hot day, you're on the beach, this is an ideal thing to have. They need to do this in cans and do it again next year and make it a beach beer. I don't know if you get much opportunity to drink a beach beer in Scotland though, right enough, but that's the sort of thing I'd recommend this beer for. In terms of the mouthfeel, I'd say this is very light bodied, almost pushing the mid bodied category a little bit. Quite tart and sharp, as I would say. The carbonation has a little bit of a prickle, a little bit of acidity. No real hoppy dryness to it, and just a little bit of malty sweetness, I'd say too. But overall, pardon me, it is a nice beer, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this again. I'd love to try their Mango Berliner, which was one that people went absolutely crazy for, and see how that one is. But the Passion Fruit Berliner for me is pretty nice actually. So if you get the chance, you enjoy passion fruits, you enjoy the sour beers, I definitely would give this a go. For me, this one is just lacking a little bit in the malty side of things to fit into that Berliner Weiss category. But the main point of a review of a beer is to say whether it's good or not, and this is a good beer. So give it a go and see what you think for yourself. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching my beer reviews. I hope you've enjoyed this one of the Passion Fruit Berliner from Tempest Brewing Company. Like I said, one of the best breweries in Scotland at the moment. These guys produce some awesome stuff. I'd recommend Brave New World, and also the Bomber IPA is supposed to be awesome as well. But generally these guys are very good, so just pick a style that you like and see how you get on. But let me know in the comment section below your own thoughts on this beer. Let me know your favourite ones from this brewery as well. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Thank you for watching my reviews, and until the next time, it's Landed Just Now. Make sure you try some of the Tempest Brewery beers. These guys are producing some awesome stuff at the moment. Until the next time, it's Landed Just Now, and make sure you try some of these Tempest beers. Cheers.